The time has finally come for the grand opening of the Hudson Yards. It is the largest, most expensive private real estate development in U.S. history right here on Manhattan's west side. The project is transforming New York City's skyline, and developers say it includes 1 million square feet of new stores and restaurants. Politicians and developers, even some musicians and performers are there at the site right now to cut the ribbon and open it up to the public. Let's listen in.
For a girl and boy, we'll turn Manhattan into an isle of joy. We'll go to Yonkers, where true love conquers in the wilds, and starve together, dear, in childs. We'll go to we stole, soul to soul. We'll go to Concord, and that's a terrific show. They say, maybe we'll see it close someday. The great big city is a wondrous toy, just made for a boy and girl. We'll turn Manhattan into an isle of joy. We'll turn Manhattan to an isle of joy. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, this is pretty spectacular. It's incredible. I saw the aerial view as well too. I haven't seen anything like this actually.
Are you going to walk the vessel in those shoes?
Not in these shoes. I'll change into my Adidas and then I'll head up there. Yeah.
We're going to see you a little bit later on. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody to Hudson Yards. This is really an incredible moment in New York's history. I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I've never seen the creation of a whole new neighborhood, and it's such an incredibly beautiful one and an interesting one. They broke ground on this, the related companies broke ground on this 6 years ago, which to me is incredible. I've had bathroom renovations that have taken 6 years, so I'm not sure how they did it in 6 years, but this really is a monument to technology, to innovation, to optimism of Stephen Ross and his company and all the people who worked here, of hard work, of all the construction workers and the police officers and everybody who's been involved in the creation of these extraordinary buildings. There's so much here to look at, and I hope you've already gotten to see some of it. Last night I was at Jose Andres' opening for his Spanish market. I could only stay very long, so he gave me a giant plate of ham to bring back to my office. And I don't know if you've ever walked a mile in New York with a giant plate of ham. It's interesting. Literally, along the way, about half of the ham was eaten by random people who had come up and picked some. So, you're welcome. It was 2 years ago that I was here, that most of us were here to unveil this open space and to unveil this incredible vessel, which is already an iconic part of the New York skyline. We're going to have the first people walking up the vessel today, and all of you are invited to walk up the vessel as well. This is really a new neighborhood. Tens of thousands of jobs have been created, beautiful new residences, affordable housing has become available as well, shops and restaurants. I understand Thomas Keller is here somewhere. If someone could just let him know I've been trying to get a reservation at Tack Room. It's not working out. Somebody please use their names and get me one. But this really is a monument to New York's limitless potential. This is honoring the history of New York. That's what we're doing today. We're honoring the history of New York, and you're also being a big part of the future of New York. Let's just take a quick look at what it took to get here.
The idea for Hudson Yards actually originated 20 years ago.
It's a piece of land that never existed before.
We're creating public space in a place that was a rail yard.
This is the last big development area. It's kind of amazing to be a part of it.
The vastness is almost without precedent when you look around the world.
Hudson Yards is like the new heart in the very old city.
We respond to where we live and work, and therefore we make the cities and then they make us.
The project, in a way, is a big invitation.
It's been an incredibly exciting morning. We'll see you, I guess, in, 2 years when the vessel is done and we'll all walk together.
Stephen, it's been 233 days since groundbreaking.
It seems like, it's 233 years.
Being a native New Yorker, I think that anything that is new and different in New York is something that we should celebrate.
One of the reasons we're excited to be part of Hudson Yard is because of how it's transforming the neighborhood in so many different ways.
We're incredibly excited about seeing our neighborhood evolve, to now see a tremendous number of new collaborators come into our community is very exciting for us.
I feel like everyone's going to want to just see it because it's such a spectacle of retail.
I've always wanted to open on the East Coast, and Hudson Yards just makes the most sense because of the density, the vision, the grandeur of the whole development.
And now all of a sudden you're going to have, every kind of restaurant I could think of in 2 city blocks.
It's that mix and that coming together that creates something bigger than the individuals themselves. And I think that's the promise of this whole new neighborhood in New York.
I know it. I feel it. I know exactly what this is going to be. Hudson Yards is going to be the new center of the city.
Hudson Yards really is a center of culture and commerce and creativity. And as you see, it took a lot to get here. Just the technology alone of how they were even able to build this outdoor space above the rail lines is extraordinary. It's an extraordinary story. CNN is already moving here. What's our new company called? Warner Media. Warner Media. Which I'm very happy about, and very excited to be a part of the Warner Media family. Thank you. Warner Media is moving here. I think our offices are over there in that building. I've been told I have a nice view. We'll see. I'll let you know. But we want to hear from a lot of the people who are responsible for creating this extraordinary experience. First, I want to introduce to you the Senate Minority Leader from the great state of New York, Senator Chuck Schumer.
Well, thank you, Anderson, and it is great to be here today. I want to thank everyone for being here. I see many of my colleagues in government. They didn't give me a card for who's here, but Jerry Nadler, the congressman from this area, who's doing a great job in D.C. Corey Johnson, head of our city council, president. Our great Manhattan Borough president is here. Our Congressman Adriano Espaillat is here. I hope I'm not leaving out any of my colleagues. Dick Gottfried, the assemblyman from this area, is here. Let's have a round of applause for the elected officials who helped make this happen. Now, this is a momentous day, and I want to first recognize my good friend for over 30 years, Steve Ross, who's the only person in the universe who could have designed, dreamed, and built a city within a city above a rail yard, which was a literal hole in the ground. I want to recognize my friends and partners in government who are here. Gary LaBarbera, who has done a great job leading our union movement with all the good-paying jobs that have come here. And Blake Hutchinson, who committed to investing a long time ago. Now, it gives me great pride to stand here and look up at these gleaming skyscrapers towering over our heads. 2 decades ago, this area was barren. I was a newly elected senator, but New York City was growing, and businesses needed a place to grow and expand beyond Manhattan's super dense corporate neighborhoods like Midtown and the financial district. Back then, there were two things that motivated me and that still motivate me today in terms of New York. The first is job growth. I've always believed that the most important thing we can do for New Yorkers is create jobs at every rung of the economic ladder. Jobs for the poor and working class. Jobs, good-paying jobs of the ladder, which they climb into the middle class. Jobs for the middle class so they can stay there. Jobs for the best and the brightest from all around the country and the world who want to come here. The second is transportation and infrastructure. Transportation, infrastructure is what creates good new jobs throughout New York. If you build infrastructure, they will come. And New York's advantage has always been our infrastructure, our subways, our bridges, our tunnels, our highways, our parkways. For all the complaints, and many of them are legitimate, about our infrastructure, bringing 3.5 million people into Manhattan is a remarkable feat. And parenthetically, I might add, I hope the White House can hear this, that means we need Gateway Tunnel as well. So as a relatively new senator back in 2000, I brought together then Mayor Giuliani, then Governor Pataki, and more than 24 business, labor, and community leaders to contemplate the future of job growth and infrastructure in New York. We called ourselves the Group of 35. Very creative. The Group's 35 mission was simple: to lay out a blueprint for where and how business could grow and expand in New York. The history of New York City, from its founding, has always been defined by economic growth. And with that growth has come shared prosperity, a melting pot of cultures, and above all, a tolerance and acceptance for anybody and everybody who comes to New York and wants to achieve their dream. Emma Lazarus's poem on the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to be free," doesn't come with an asterisk. New York has always accepted people from all backgrounds, all the way back to the Dutch West India Company, which in 1636 commanded New Amsterdam's Director General Peter Stuyvesant to let 25 Jewish immigrants in who were escaping persecution in Brazil. And so the Group of 35 got together. We pooled our collective expertise and resources to figure out how New York City could continue to be an international beacon for hope to the millions of people who live and visit here. We knew that if New York was to remain the preeminent global city and stay ahead of London and Singapore and other competitors, we had to modernize and expand our stock of modern, cutting-edge office space. In an economy based on creativity and intellectual capital, creativity and talent, our office buildings are our factories, where large concentration of jobs can be nurtured and grown. We soon came to an agreement that Manhattan's far west side had huge untapped potential, but one thing was holding it back: lack of infrastructure. At the time, it was a hassle to get to 10th and 11th Avenues when the subway line furthest west ended at Times Square. So, we proposed to extend the 7 line to the far west side. We knew that once the subway connected the rest of the city to that area, it would grow and create jobs. If you build it, they will come. And we suggested funding the 7 line in a novel way through TIF, tax increment financing. To the everlasting credit of then Mayor Mike Bloomberg and his deputy, Dan Doctoroff, who's here, they agreed and executed the project quickly and competently. And when Steve Ross saw the advantage of the new subway line, he developed an amazing and ambitious proposal to build a complex of skyscrapers over the West Side Rail Line. Immediately, I knew, New Yorkers knew, his project would be a boon to New York for 3 main reasons: jobs, jobs, and more jobs. Jobs for New Yorkers of every background, in every borough, at every rung of the economic ladder. Jobs for the poor and working class, jobs for the middle class, jobs for the world's people, people from around the globe who come here to make their name in New York. Jobs for the thousands, Gary, who have constructed these buildings and the platform that supports them. Jobs for the tens of thousands of New Yorkers who will work here as secretaries, stockbrokers, designers, janitors, programmers, sales clerks, lawyers, and jobs for untold more New Yorkers who will drive and babysit and dry clean and cook for all of the people who live at and work in the Hudson Yards. Anybody worried about the future vitality of New York should look no further than the transformation that's happening right here. This gargantuan effort by Steve Ross and related, by the building trades, by the state and city and so many others, will drive growth, energy, and optimism in this city to a degree that the Group of 35 could only have dreamed of. New York's watchword has always been, if you don't change and grow, you die. And in a city that's constantly reinventing itself, Steve and his collaborators have built something new, exciting, and dynamic that will last for generations to come, and New York will be so much the better for it. Thank you. Okay, my friend. Give him hell.
Thank you, Senator Schumer. And thank you, Anderson Cooper, for being here today, as well as all the elected officials. I'd like to pause for a moment just to take this all in. Because, wow, I'm still awed by all of this. I can't be more proud and more humbled. I've been working on this project for 11 years, and it's still hard to believe that it's real today. This is a historic moment. The future has arrived. Today, as New Yorkers, when we get together and think big, we can accomplish great things. And I think this moment, to me and our team, is especially important. And I hope New York benefits by all that we have done, because we've really put our heart and soul into it. As a real estate developer, you need to be optimistic by nature. But for this one, it took a lot more than that. At the time that the RFP was out when we were selected, we were just about in the Great Recession. But we always believed New York was the greatest city, it would survive, and it would continue to be the greatest city than those who had doubts. We saw this as a great opportunity, and so we bid, and we were successful. As Senator Schumer indicated, the Group of 35 really set the tone that the future growth of New York had to be on the West Side. I was very fortunate to be part of that Group of 35. Once that was established, and we all believed in New York, we were fortunate that Mayor Bloomberg was elected, and he thought big. And he, together with his administration, led by Dan Doctoroff, passed all the zoning initiatives, funneled the money that was needed to build the 7-line, and also there was about $4 billion spent, including the expansion of the Javits Center, the Hudson River Park, the High Line, and Hudson Boulevard. When we saw that, we saw the infrastructure in place. As I said, we saw this as one of the greatest opportunities of all time. We saw also at that time that the world was changing, that we needed new ideas. People were looking at different things. Everything was being disrupted. So we saw what New York needed was really, and what they were looking for was a new neighborhood, a neighborhood where you could live, work, and play, that would attract the best and the brightest, the best corporations from New York, and the brightest people already wanting to live here in the emerging Chelsea neighborhoods. So it was a perfect opportunity, we thought. And so the team was worked together, and also introducing all the latest in resiliency and technology all in one place, bringing together the greatest architects in the world that would make this a place, a show place for New York, and also showing the rest of the world that New York would be and continue to be the greatest city in the world. Now, I've gotten a lot of credit for this, but I got to tell you, it took a real team. Probably, I think, they were the greatest teams, and they say that we're the only ones that could have done it. We couldn't have done it with all those people. And I'd like to thank Jeff Blau, Bruce Beal, Ken Wong, Ken Himmel, Jay Cross, and Ahmad LaFatella. That team together led the rest of Related in building this project. And I'm very, very proud for the work that they've done. And I know I wouldn't be here today unless they were with me. So thank you very much. I would like to also thank our partners, the Oxford Property Group, led by Blake Hutchinson, who will follow me and have a few words. Also the talented designers, the architects, the creators, the engineers, the craftsmen, all the subcontractors that have all put their heart and soul into making this project spectacular, in my words anyway. They were the risk takers and who believed in it, and are all today feel very proud to be part of what we have accomplished. And I'd like to thank our friends at the Shed, who right near this beautiful facility, that would be a very, very unique and creative and one of the great new cultural institutions in New York, led by Dan Doctoroff and Alex Poots. I also want to thank, and this job couldn't have been possible. You hear how difficult it is to operate New York. But the cooperation of the de Blasio administration and all the city departments was unbelievable. They were almost like our partners. They wanted to take part and make sure that this job would be successful. And together with them, we were able to complete this project on time, which is incredible when everybody thinks about New York. So thank you to the city of New York for their great help. Since there's so many people, I'd like everybody in the audience today who has participated in Hudson Yards to stand up so I can applaud you. I also want to acknowledge those who aren't with us today, who are so involved in this project. Howard Elkis, the great architect, who was the designer of the shops at Hudson Yards. Also Kevin Roach, who was also involved in design with Gene Cohn in 55 Hudson Yards. And also our own Dan Fulop, who was so helpful in arranging the financing for the infrastructure that made this possible. We miss you, and we dedicate this project to you. Today, we are a new neighborhood where the West Side all comes together. Today, we created a new model for the world to see a neighborhood development that encourages sustainability and resiliency. Today, we created a dynamic hub of creativity and innovation. And today, once again, we showed that New York will and always be the greatest city in the world. All of this would not have been possible without our skilled labor force in New York. Many have worked day and night over the last week to bring this job in on time, and we're able to open today. I know when I was here 2 days ago, I didn't think it was possible, and I got to thank them for the great work that they have done. So a big round of applause for the tens of thousands which you've done, who have built Hudson Yards. And now I'd like to introduce Gary LaBarba, who is the head of the New York City Building Trades Council. We have formed a partnership. Many of you heard it might have been fractured at times, but today I'd like to say it's stronger than ever. And together, we will continue to build and keep New York the great city it is. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Yeah, I think you can do a little better than that. How are you today? It's a great day in Hudson Yards. Well, first of all, let me thank, on behalf of the 100,000 members of the Building and Construction Trades Council, Steve Ross, for this vision and creating a whole new neighborhood on the west side of Manhattan. Steve has acknowledged many people. I'd like to acknowledge two people as well as in the related organization, and that is Bruce Beal and Jeff Blau. They were at the forefront of this, as Steve mentioned, and I wanted to acknowledge them personally. Also, at a point of personal privilege, there is a special guest in the labor movement here, actually two. I'd like to mention that Mario Salento, the president of the New York State AFL-CIO, is with us, and also Hector Figueroa from Local 32BJ. So I wanted to mention them. I'll keep my comments pretty direct and pretty brief. I just want to say a few things. First of all, this is, in fact, an iconic project. This project is transformative for the city of New York. And I want to say, on behalf of the building trades, we were extremely proud to build this project. And I want to mention, as was mentioned already, the skilled hands and the crafts that built this project. Now, as we all know, this would not have been possible without Steve Ross's vision, his leadership, and moving this project forward. But as acknowledged, the actual buildings that you see, the vessel behind us, was built by human hands. And these were union human hands. And we take great pride in our skill and our craft. The apprenticeship programs in New York City are second to none. Anywhere from 3 to 5 years of intense training. And when we come to build a project, we bring with us that skill and that training. And we bring with us pride, because we want to build a project that the city can be proud of, that the owner can be proud of, and that we can be proud of. And I was talking to a few people earlier and mentioning this vessel is not just a structure. This is a piece of art. And the steel erection on a structure such as this is very different than on a regular building. This was artwork. And I know from talking to the ironworkers and others how much pride, the operating engineers, how much pride they took in building this project, this vessel. And you know, I said, someday there will be an ironworker walking by with his son or grandson, and he will say, look, I built that. That is a great deal of pride. And again, we could not do this without developers and leaders like Steve Ross and the related team. I have to say that it is really an honor for me to be here. And to Steve's point, I really look forward to the future with Related at the forefront. I really look forward with optimism about a new day of collaboration within this industry, because this project is the example of what we can do together. We can build the greatest, the biggest city in the world. So thank you very much for listening to my comments. And now, please welcome Related's partner in helping bring this neighborhood to life, Blake Hutchinson, the chair of Oxford Properties and the president of OMERS. Blake?
Great job. Ladies and gentlemen, it was 30 years ago, I was studying real estate development up at Columbia University, and I had a dream. And the dream resembled very much what this day reflects. And I was taught then that New York City was the greatest city in the world, and I was taught that the only limit to spectacular projects like this is leadership and imagination, and I cannot think of a project in the world that underscores that those two things are as true today as they ever were. Now, we've listened to some pretty serious icons. I'm the only one up here that nobody's ever heard of. I'm a Canadian, and so I will be very brief, and I just want to confine my comments to 4 simple thank yous. The first thank you has to go to this spectacular company, Related. And it's no secret, with a project this size and a partnership this size, it is not always easy to get it right. And yet I would submit that together, in the face of unbelievable difficulty and challenges, we have taken the original dream and we have bettered all expectations and instructions together. I would say to you that the Related group of companies is one of the few greatest real estate platforms ever assembled in the world today. And it's always a risk to sort of single people out, and I know they've got a lot of credit, but you have to single out Steve for his leadership. Jeff Blau is arguably the best real estate financial mind I've seen in the world. Bruce Beal has been a terrific executor in construction. Ken Hemmel behind us, the retail, the contribution he's made is world class. And particularly Jay Cross has shown amazing leadership throughout the project. So we cannot thank our partners enough. Congratulations on this fine day. And thank you for that call in 2010 saying, how about you guys, you Canadians want to be a little piece of this or not? So thank you. My next thank you is really a reflection of what Steve and others have said, and that is to join the chorus in support of the City of New York. Oxford Properties today, it's backed by one of the pension funds in Canada. It's a global empire. We have $50 billion. We're operating in 25 cities around the world. We have 400 assets in 6 different currencies and 7 time zones. And yet everywhere we go, I would say that this project, more than any other, has had the city behind it as a true partner. And I just wanted to say, as Steve has and others, we really appreciate the city's partnership. We really appreciate their help on execution. Churchill once said, when great cities and great developers come together, first we shape the buildings, and thereafter those buildings shape us. And this city has helped shape this city within a city. They've been our partner, to the benefit of not just those who work and live and play here, but I think to the benefit of all Manhattaners and all people who visit in years to come. So a big round of applause for the City of New York. Thirdly, I wanted to thank our Oxford team. You know who you are. And the leadership of Neil Jacob, of Dean Shapiro, of Bob Azis, of Ofer Zur, the rest, right through to the assistants. You guys have been gold. And I just want to thank you for always taking the high road, for representing OMERS, Oxford, and Canada exquisitely, commercially, and professionally. And I salute you, and I appreciate you, and I'm proud of you today. To our Canadian partners. And finally, I just will, as Steve has, sort of, as I look out at the crowd, I know that everybody here in their own way has touched this project. This is a project that has required a village of great men and women in this area contributing, and so today is a day for all of you. It truly is. As I look at this project, I think it's the best example in history of great people, of talent, of tenacity, of noise, all combining with a massive vision and a huge belief in tomorrow that some people would call guts. And so everybody here should be celebrating. Everybody here is part of the honor. You have made the world a better place. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless. It's now my privilege to introduce Thomas Heatherwick. Thomas is the founder and lead designer of Heatherwick Studios out of the UK. He is also the genius that has brought this great project behind us, the vessel. And I don't know what he'll say, I just know it'll be a treat. Would you please welcome Thomas.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. It's such a phenomenal honor to be here, to be standing in front of not just the vessel, but a whole new neighborhood. When you're involved in architecture and design, and if I take you back 6.5 years ago, you're so used to people talking about master plans and new developments, and they never happen, and they don't really come to fulfillment. And so you slightly don't really believe people. And so when Related and Stephen Ross described to us that they were going to make a whole neighborhood with this quantity of space and places for people to live and work and be, and then a public space in the middle as big as Trafalgar Square, sorry to use a British analogy, it was sort of, you took it a little bit, you know, with a pinch of salt slightly. And then when we were asked to think about a centerpiece for that space, and it felt to us that, in a way, the dynamism of New York that I've always experienced ever since I came here 28 years ago, it seemed that just sticking a thing in the middle wasn't going to do justice to the dynamism of New York. And so we got really interested in the public space. And in our practice, we're fascinated by spaces that bring people together, spaces that are free. And New York has just been this pioneer of that. Just from the original Central Park, which was just so original for the way of the confidence of putting one major, massive space for everyone to share, of whatever income they were. And then in recent history, the High Line happening. And you know, when you say to someone, oh, just a thin, long park, you wouldn't say, how amazing. But then when it's lifted up like that, suddenly the chemistry for us all and new ways of seeing ourselves and each other. And so, in a way, that's how we had that idea for trying to make something that would build on that heritage. And I just want you to imagine us presenting. So we presented to Related a project made with a mile of public space, 2,500 steps, 80 landings, 154 flights. Can you imagine whether we imagined it was ever going to happen? We never thought it would happen. And so it's such a testimony. I mean, it was so lovely hearing, I mean, the people who have made this happen. We've had the incredible privilege to work with phenomenal craftsmen, phenomenal engineers, visionaries who drove things forward, who came together to try and make something that would be free for every user. And the idea of Vessel really was that it's just a platform for whatever's going to happen with it and on it over the years and decades to come. And so it's thrilling now because it's now going to be open for everyone. But I do have a confession, and that's that the project actually isn't finished. Because, yes, Steve, sorry, it's not finished. The whole point wasn't to have an inanimate, what's the word? Inanimate object. The whole point was to be lifting up 700 people, so thousands and thousands of people every day could, like the Italian promenades, be able to look at each other, look up, look down, share extraordinary experience. And so it's not finished until you're on it. So please come join it. That's what we've never experienced. I've been up here by myself, but not with all of you. So I hope you all enjoy it. Come back, be here, and we're just waiting and watching what's going to happen. So thank you so much, Related, Steve, everyone. It's phenomenal that you made this happen. Who would have thought?
How cool will it be to be some of the first people to be able to walk on the vessel? You'll be able to tell your grandkids about it. It'll be like the first people who took an elevator or walked in the Empire State Building. We have one more guest who's going to make a very long and lengthy speech, so be excited. He's technically, I think, around 6 years old. He's from one of the oldest neighborhoods in New York. Just to get here, took an Uber, he took a city bike, then he had to get a car. Please welcome Big Bird.
Hello there. Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Anderson, how are you?
I'm very well. It's good to see you.
This is a nice podium.
Yeah. Wow. Are you excited to be at Hudson Yards?
Oh, I sure am. And wow, look at that. You know, I thought I was big, but how big's the bird that lives in that nest?
Yeah, it's that's. So you ready to open up Hudson Yards with us officially?
Yeah, that sounds great. Can we get all of our friends to come on up here?
Yes, let's get some of our friends to come up. So if all the speakers who have spoken already would come back on the stage, and the related company partners as well, Bruce Beal, Jeff Blau, Ken Wong, Jay Cross, Imad Latfala also, please come on up.
Yeah, come on and stand right next to me. Right over this way. That's a nice tie.
And I think they're going to remove the podium.
And then you're going to just take a hold of this rope, okay? Yes. I like your scarf. There you go. Just take a hold of that rope. Don't pull it yet.
Yeah, we should.
That'll be terrible for a photo op if the podium's still in. Oh.
There we go.
Thanks, Anderson. You don't have to do your workout today. All right, have you got the rope? Everybody has the rope? All right, on the count of 3, you're going to pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
I didn't either.
That was a surprise.
Well, so I think you guys are going to go. So they're going to start heading up, and you're all going to have the opportunity to go onto the vessel very soon. Before we do, though, we do have one more performance. Andra Day is going to be coming back here. She's going to be performing, and we're just going to get the stage cleaned up because we have some dancers.
Do I have some friends that can help me sweep this up?
Do you have a broom, Big Bird?
I don't, but I can kick it.
Here, should we
kick it off the edge?
You should try to save some of this confetti because it's got a picture of the vessel on it. It'll be like.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
We could. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So how are things at Sesame Street these days?
Everything's great.
Yeah.
Elmo says hello.
Oh, that's nice.
Abby says hello.
Yeah.
Oscar says scram.
Oh, well, yes, he's a grouch would do that. Yeah. How's Walter McCranky and Dan Rather Not?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
They're grouchy.
They're grouchy. All right. So, Andra Day is going to be coming. We're almost ready here on the stage. I think we have just a couple over here.
You guys are doing a really great job. Thank you. All right.
We have a performance that captures the energy and the spirit that fuels New York City. Andrew Day is going to perform with dancers of the Alvin Ailey School, choreographed by Hope Boykin, and the National Chorale in partnership with the Professional Performing Arts High School Choir. They are going to perform. So they will come up in a moment. So enjoy, and then afterwards, you can all walk in the vessel.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Big Bird. Nice to see you. Watch your step. Yeah, I think so.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Mountains, we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, and I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again for you. Silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, oh, and I rise up, I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again for you. That we have each other, and for that we have each other. Yeah. We will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, I like the waves. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. Rise up. We can rise. Thank you. Please give it up for the Alvin Ailey dancers.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. The dancers, to the choir, thank you very much. Great job, guys. And also, of course, to Andra Day. Big Bird is going to come back out. We're finishing up. I think he had us on a drink, but I don't know. Oh, you're cheering now, Big Bird. Are you doing well? You're well?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay, so are you ready to just officially let everybody go up to the vessel?
That sounds great.
Do you want to do a selfie?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we encourage also all of you, obviously, to take selfies and Instagram. You're all welcome to go to the vessel and enjoy. Be the first ones.
That's right. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome to Hudson Yards.
Here we go. Oh, sorry. Ready?
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Well, you have been watching local politicians and developers officially open Hudson Yards to the public. This concept was 20 years in the making. Developers hope the vessel will be an additional landmark added to the tapestry of New York City. That vessel, you can see it there. It's 2,500 interconnecting steps to form 8 levels of an interactive piece of art meant to be climbed, and all of this sits above a rail yard. You can clearly see it here. We had some dignitaries and locals coming out to see a neighborhood within our New York City neighborhood. Hundreds of shops, restaurant, 28,000 plants, 200 trees will all welcome you in turning this, what was an abandoned area, into a beautiful new location. But it is all now open to the public, so go see it and enjoy for yourself.